Today I'm joined by my business partner, Philip, and today is a very special day because we just launched our second Substack publication called Smarter Substack. Now, Philip, you are really the architect behind Smarter Substack. I would say you came up with this idea, and now today is the launch day. Can you maybe explain what Smarter Substack is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea behind Smarter Substack is quite simple. We want to create one place on Substack where people can find all the relevant information that they need in order to grow their Substack. Now, some of you might think, hey, but aren't you already doing this with Right Build Scale? So let me quickly explain. With Right Build Scale, we talk about our own point of view. We share our experiences. We talk about the experiments that we did, the tests we run, the failures we had, and we also share our success stories. With Smarter Substack, we want to try something completely new. We want to try something that at least we haven't seen on Substack before. We want to establish something that we love to call an atomic Substack. So the idea of an atomic Substack is similar to an atomic newsletter where you would curate the best information, hacks, tips, tools, and tricks on one specific topic. And that's exactly what we want to do with Smarter Substack for people interested in growing on Substack.
So let's say someone subscribes to Smarter Substack. What can they expect in their inbox on a daily or weekly basis?
Awesome follow-up question. So if you subscribe to Smarter Substack, you will receive one email from Monday till Friday, and you will receive another email on Sunday. So the emails Monday till Friday always are super simple. It should never take you more than 1 minute to scan through those emails, and every email will provide you with 3 different resources. Those are all resources that are hand-vetted by ourselves, our editors, and our entire team, so that we can make sure you really only receive the most valuable things about Substack out there. And as mentioned earlier on, while on Right Build Scale, everything that you see is either from Sinem, Jari, or myself. Inside Smarter Substack, we are curating some of the best resources out there on Substack. And we do so because there are so many amazing creators on Substack. So when we joined the platform, we didn't know any creators about Substack. But now we have a broad network. There are so many awesome creators like David McElroy, like Jana, like Phil and Carolina. There are so many awesome people who create awesome content. We really want to bundle all of this content together in one place.
And then maybe another question. Why did we decide, in your opinion, why now to launch Smarter Substack? Because I do, like, often we talk about, should you have one publication? Should you have 2 publications? Why do you think right now felt like the right moment for us to launch this newsletter?
To be completely honest, I had this idea about a year ago, and it took me almost a year to convince you and Sinem to get this idea off the ground. No, I'm just kidding. The first 18 months or 1.5 years on Substack, we fully focused on Right Build Scale. Our goal was always to become a bestseller with this orange badge, to get 1,000 paying subscribers. And yeah, we really only focused on that. So we were focusing on building one publication, providing one value to one clear target audience, solving their specific problems. And the moment we achieved that, we celebrated. And then obviously we talked about, but hey, what's next? Right Build Scale will for always be our main publication, but Right Build Scale is so much more than just Substack. In Right Build Scale, we also talk about mini courses, scaling a business, building coaching offers, launching, retention, and so on. So there's so much more to it than just Substack. While on the other hand, now with Smarter Substack, we have an outlet where not we are creating the content, but where we are highlighting, spotlighting, and pointing into direction of those people that really know what they are talking about regarding growth on Substack.
And I think one key reason also why we decided to launch this newsletter is collaboration, right? And collaboration has always been a core part of our philosophy in business in general, but I would say especially on Substack, which is really designed for collaboration. How do you feel like Smarter Substack allows us to collaborate more with other creators rather than like competing with them?
Yeah, awesome question. Smarter Substack actually is like is like built on collaboration, because without collaboration, without highlighting other people in your niche, it will not be able to build a publication like that. So what we are doing with Smarter Substack is saying, hey guys, no one in our niche is our competitor. We are all collaborators. So we have no problem with creating a newsletter where we say, okay, today we are featuring Jana, tomorrow we're featuring Claudia, then we're featuring David, even though all three of those amazing creators have similar offers to what we have. So I strongly believe that if you have like an elbow mentality where you see everyone as competitor and where you try to track them down, you will have a hard time, because Substack is built for collaboration. And so we really want to establish a publication that really says, hey, this is about collaboration. So to be completely honest, we don't have a plan on how to monetize that properly. So we're not thinking of adding a paid tier to it in the next future. Yes, we have some ideas like sponsorships or like highlighting our own products there from time to time. But the core idea is to build one publication where everyone that is on Substack that wants to learn more about Substack can go to. There they get the best information that is out there, and then they can decide, hey, who are those creators who really wrote those articles? Maybe I subscribe to them, or maybe they just stick around with Smarter Substack, and hopefully they achieve their goal so that they no longer need that publication.
Yeah, and I think what you said there last is really a key point why we started that newsletter as well, right? We get a lot of people in our audience, in our community, who, of course, like they're part of our community, but they also ask, like, yeah, I see a lot of people writing about Substack growth and Substack monetization, and I don't know who I should believe. I don't know like who's for real, who really knows what they're talking about and who doesn't. And I think with this newsletter, the goal is as well to make sure that we actually like curate the content. We look at, okay, who actually knows what they're talking about when it comes to Substack, and let's curate that in one newsletter in one place, so that we know like the resources we share are actually helpful. It's from real experts who've been on the platform for a while, who build their audience here, and most of them build their business right on this platform.
Yeah.
Maybe one question, why do you think that actually this problem is quite big nowadays on Substack, that people feel overwhelmed maybe with who to trust when it comes to Substack growth advice?
Yeah. Yeah, great question again. Substack is built for people with an expertise in one niche. Your niche can be finance, it can be accounting, it can be weight loss, it can be legal advice whatsoever. So everyone can come to Substack and build a business around it. The problem is when you come to Substack, there are certain rules that apply to Substack, and you now new on the platform, you need to learn those things. Where do you get started? Oftentimes, people find us directly or other trustworthy creators. Oftentimes, and we see this when we work with clients one-on-one, they've heard certain things, they learned certain strategies that are just simply not true. And why is that the case? I strongly believe that a lot of people still think that if you want to make money on Substack, you need to write about Substack. So therefore, people who don't have any expertise with growing on Substack try to teach other people how to build an audience. And I strongly believe that this is simply not true. Take a look at the best earning Substacks. None of those talks about Substack. They all talk about finance, politics, marketing, AI. They all solve real world problems. And yeah, for me, it's pretty obvious. If you want to learn about Substack, you need to spend a lot of time figuring out who are the people that you can trust, who is actually sharing advice that's working. And you can do this yourself, but you will spend hours on doing so, or you can just let us do it, because basically that's our living. We read every day about Substack. We watch videos about Substack. We communicate. We're connected with all the other creators. So I think we have quite a good understanding of what makes an advice really be applicable or not. And that's our job within Smarter Substack, to filter out those things and only present the best things to someone. It's actually not something new. It's like what Morning Brew has been doing with their newsletter. We're just doing it not as an atomic newsletter, but as an atomic Substack for the Substack community.
Yeah, and also one thing that comes to mind, right? It's not just growth strategies or monetization strategies, also like this newsletter is meant to share some of the latest trends on Substack, some of the
Absolutely.
changes in Substack, maybe the latest developments and latest news that we then curate for you, so you actually know what's important and what you can ignore, right? What's not important, so that you always stay like ahead of the curve on where Substack is moving. And I think especially with the growth trajectory that Substack has been on in 2025 and now in 2026, like it's accelerating, we will see more changes, faster changes, and directions in trends, right? So I think being able to stay up to date with that is also one of the key reasons why we started this newsletter. Now, looking ahead, how do you think that Smarter Substack fits into the bigger overall right build scale ecosystem into our company, basically?
Yeah, I love it. So when we started Write Build Scale, we really focused on online writing, online building or product building, audience building, and scaling your income. Then we joined Substack and we've invested a lot of time in figuring Substack out ourselves. And even though we never planned to do courses and coaching on Substack, more and more people in our community said, hey, I want to learn how you did this. Can you help me do that? And that basically led to us having built Substack system, having built consulting offers, coaching offers, and like the entire package around Substack. But this is something that we are absolutely passionate for, but this is not all that we want to do, because we strongly believe that if you want to really succeed on Substack, you need to see Substack as an entry point. You need to figure out what to build on top of that. And this building on top of Substack will always be what Write Build Scale is all about. So yes, we help you with Substack, but we also have expertise in building an entire digital business on top of it. So the idea of Smarter Substack is to free up our time by not only us featuring everything that's happening. I don't want to be the person that writes about, hey, there's a new feature on Substack, or hey, this is how you get 5 more recommendations. I just want to have Smarter Substack to be a place to point the people into the direction where they can get the best information, so that we with Write Build Scale have more time for our clients, for our customers, and for bringing our publication to the next level. We said earlier that we reached over 1,000 paying subscribers. We're at 1,250 by now, I think,
Yep.
and we have big ambitions for that. So we're just getting started with the Write Build Scale publication as well.
One last question for you, especially since, like, once again, you are the architect behind Smarter Substack. At the end of the year, 2026, what would be your dream outcome for this newsletter for Smarter Substack?
That's a tricky one. We spoke about the questions for this session today, but you didn't mention that. So
This is
well
a
played.
surprise question, Philip.
Yeah. Honestly speaking, for me, it's not about revenue and it's not about a subscriber number. For me, it's all about building something where people say, hey, this is so cool. I am overwhelmed with subscribing to 35 other people. I still stay subscribed to them, but I cannot read all of their emails. Hey, now with Smarter Substack, I have a place where I can check in, where Monday till Friday, I get my 3 links delivered. And we haven't spoken about that. And that's something that I'm super passionate about, that project. Every Sunday, we will also send out a special episode where we let the people know what have been the most clicked links, what are the things that people are most excited about, where we add a little bit of growth advice, a question for the community, and something more. So I'm super excited about this format of the newsletter, especially about the Sunday episode, because if I could wish for something by the end of 2026, that people really look forward to this, especially to the Sunday episode, where they can say, hey, this is my debrief. This has happened this week on Substack, and I'm so happy that I received this. And yeah, if we achieve that, I'm pretty sure this can turn into something absolutely amazing. I mentioned this earlier. We are seeing this not as an atomic newsletter, but as an atomic Substack, basically meaning that we will add community features to it, especially the publication chat. We have a couple of plans for those things, but we want to take this one step at a time. So we are super happy that the newsletter is out there right now. So if you haven't subscribed, go to smartersubstack.com. Please become a free subscriber. We don't have a paid tier yet, but we are super happy for everyone who checks in. And most important to us, just let us know what you're thinking of it, because we want to really build this based on your feedback.
Thank you for sharing that, Philip. And indeed, like anyone who wants to subscribe, the link is in the description below or at smartersubstack.com. And especially, like Philip said, feel free to share your feedback with us early on, right? We're just new launching this newsletter. We have a clear plan and idea for it, but we always want to listen to your feedback and what you enjoy the most. So we really appreciate your support early on. And once again, if you want to subscribe, you can do so completely for free, clicking the link in the description of this podcast episode, or once again, going to smartersubstack.com. Philip, thank you so much. And thanks everyone for tuning into this episode. See you all on the next one.